going to see first part of Unit 1. This part relates with the building construction, various basic components of building, various types of building and its purpose, requirements to construct the particular component, its application, and automation in construction. So moving ahead, first of all, we supposed to have an idea about the building. So what is a building? Building is an enclosed structure with roof and walls. Enclosed with roof and walls is known as a building. The building may be a house or maybe any factory or any hospital is known as a building. It is a relatively permanent enclosed construction over a plot of land. Permanent and enclosed, these two words are very important here. Now, building components. So important for we supposed to have an idea, basic idea about the column, beam, slab and foundation. So moving with the foundation. So foundation, it is necessary to evenly distribute the entire load of superstructure to the soil in such a manner that no settlement to be done. In further, we supposed to study what is settlement, what are various types of settlements. Now column, it is a vertical member. Column is a vertical member which supports or which distributes the load from slab to the foundation. The next one is next important member is beam. So beam, basically it is a horizontal member and that primarily resists loads applied laterally to the beam. Slab, we all know slab, it is also for base slab we also term as floor or floor, various types of floor finishes are also there. Slabs provide us vertical working spaces. Now classification of building based upon the various purposes. NBC, that is National Building Code, classified building in various ways. Occupancy depends upon the occupancy basically. This classification is to be done. A part, residential building. B, educational. C, institution. D, assembly. E, business. F, mercantile. G, industrial. H, hazardous. And I, H, storage, and I, hazardous. So now residential. Residential means where we supposed to sleep and cook simultaneously. That building is known as residential building. Educational building, for example primary schools, colleges, that is educational buildings. Institutions means major where health care to be done. Care taken to the people considered in this particular type of building. For example, healthcare centers, hospitals, mental asylum, like this. Now assembly, where a number of people gather together for a particular purpose. For example, church, temple. Business buildings, where small offices to be there. Mercantile, number of shopping complexes, malls comes under mercantile building. Industrial area, we supposed to know industrial hub where major factories are included, that is industrial. Storage, for some purpose, storing of material, storing of chemicals or any other part to be done, that is storage. And hazardous building. Hazardous means where we supposed to store explosives for some purposes. explosives in uh, form of chemicals or in other variety of forms, so that building is known as hazardous building. Now various building components. Basically building consists of main three components: substructure, superstructure and plinth. So now substructure, structure which is below the ground level is known as substructure. The part which is below ground level and in contact with the soil below and which transmits all the load to the ground below is known as substructure. Plinth. Plinth is a differentiating part to the substructure and superstructure. It is normally constructed just above the ground level and immediately after the foundation. It raises the floor above the ground level and prevents surface water from entering inside the building, as well as to avoid the reptiles' entry inside the building. Superstructure. Next part is superstructure. So the superstructure is a structure which we can see with our naked eyes. All components of building which we can see with our eyes are included in superstructure. Means a construction above the ground level is known as superstructure. In substructure, foundation is included, and in superstructure, for example, walls, beams, door, windows, chhajjas, like this included. So in this diagram, as this particular part is foundation, which is shown with the brown stream, that is foundation. Piles is type of foundation, so foundation, and that is substructure, and above which all construction is included in superstructure. In this diagram, you can't able to distinguish the plinth. So, but here I'll show you image. In this image, a plinth is there. So, plinth, which gives you ground level, ground surface. Basically, the plinth gives the floor level above the normal ground level. And the purpose of this plinth is to protect the inside entry of rainwater and reptiles. So like this is known as plinth. Here in this diagram, exactly plinth and superstructure is shown to you. The structure which is constructed above the ground level is known as superstructure. In this diagram, you can see properly substructure and superstructure. Now we'll see important terminologies, important terms. Basically, floor. What is a floor? This is the surface on which we do most of our activities. Flooring is laid over the filling of the earth and on subsequent floors. So here ground floor, second floor, like these floors to be mentioned. High-rise building have more number of floors. Now flooring can be done with different materials, but care must be given that the ground below the floor is well compacted. Flooring is done to prevent dampness from rising to the top and to have a firm platform that can be kept hygienic and clean. Now walls. Next terminology is walls. Walls are the vertical elements on which the roof finally rests. They can be made of different materials like bricks, stones, mud, concrete, and blocks, etc. If the walls are very long, columns can be provided to carry the roof. Walls provide privacy and enclosure. Walls also provide security and protection against natural elements such as wind, rain, sunshine. Openings are to be provided in wall for access and ventilation. Openings. Now we'll see what is opening. Openings are normally provided in walls as or in the form of door, windows, ventilators. Doors provide access. Windows and ventilators are provided for lighting and ventilation purposes. Now staircase is also important part of any building or any structure. Stairs. Now we'll see what is stair. A stair, it is a sequence of steps and is provided to afford the means of ascent and descent between the floors and landing. The apartment or room of building in which stair is located is called staircase. There are different types of staircases that we'll see later on. So these are main and basic terminologies of important for building. Now we'll see difference between superstructure and substructure. Now substructure, the portion of building that constructed below the ground level is substructure and construction above the ground level is superstructure. Substructure transmits the load received from superstructure to the subsoil or supporting soil. Superstructure serves the purpose of buildings intended to use. For substructure, elements of substructure include foundation, and for superstructure, walls, columns, beams, doors, windows, etc. to be included or considered in superstructure. Thank you very much for listening today's session. We will continue with few more sessions afterwards. Thank you again.